people enjoy being sad. The reason Jewish people enjoy being sad is they not because they enjoy the sad part of it, because when you're sad, there's a calmness to sad. Okay, so it's sort of bad things happen, it's stimulated, but by calm, everyone when you're sad, everyone's calm. That's why they enjoy being sad. Because essentially they don't enjoy the negative of it. They enjoy, well, kind of into that, but also Jewish people are full of hope. That's the thing. You knock them down a million times, they're always going to come out full of hope. And that's one of the many, 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 many reasons that some people don't love them, as you see sometimes online and in person, unfortunately. The reality is everyone wants to give like positive, it's good stuff. Good, everything's good, everything's good, everything's good. There's obviously toxic positivity, there's real positivity, there's different types of positivity. But basically, the situation right now is not good. Honestly, it's not good. It's not good for many reasons. It's like they're fine. So the college campuses, turns out they did a poll, and it's only like 9% of the college students that actually care about this whole Israel thing. But it's the ferocity and the noise that they're coming with that's just not healthy. Obviously, not great to see. It's at college campuses. It's on the streets also in New York City. You see two middle-aged women, sisters, being surrounded by these like young, obviously leftist people that are not protesting, but they surround them. They don't let them leave. So a little young lady who tries to punch the guy in the face. It's getting increasingly disturbing. Also, America turning on Israel by saying it's not going to give weapons. Now, that is an issue for itself. What the smart money is in Israel, what the smart people and what the wise people say in Israel is not that so much. They say that it's not a fight between Israel and its enemies, it's a fight within Israel. If Israel had been unified and there hadn't been this crazy division in Israel, then the Hamas would not have been able to attack. Hamas are animals. They're not brainwashed people at all. They are animals. They're vicious, vicious animals. They have to all be exterminated, all of Hamas. Even the ones that were in prison right now have to all be given the death penalty. What's it called? They sensed their animals, so they sensed in their enemy, they're split, so that's how they were able to attack. Israel for itself is one of the many tragedies here is that Israel doesn't have a leader. There's no leaders in Israel. There's no, now obviously there's the Israeli government, the Israeli people. The Israeli people are incredible people. They're resilient people, they're really kind, they're best quality, they're the best. The best country to be in is Israel. It's not a good time because of the hostages, and knowing history or a little bit, or just basic, or even knowing basic history of Israel, you understand that there's a deal between, there's a social contract, if you will, between the people of Israel and its government that they'll protect you. And if your enemy comes and kills you, it's one thing, which is terrible, but if they come and capture you, then they'll do everything that they can to get them back. And in this case, they stopped the war several months ago, and they're finally going to Rafah now. It's a bad situation. It's just bad, and there is no real answer. No one knows the answer. It's complete silence about why they're doing it. No one really understands. It's like, so what you call this gullus, which is exile. So the idea of exile is not being in your promised land, and you're not having your freedom and not being in the promised land. So it's called a gullus in English, or galut. But this is a gullus, many different ones. And just that's the situation now. I don't see, like, there's no, like, okay, what if they get the people freed now? Okay, which some of those are alive? How come they have to wait 7 months till they go into Rafah? Like, what kind of crap is that? It's just terrible. There's nothing else to say. There's really nothing else to say. There's no positive spin to put on it. Obviously, the positive spin is that, well, it's just a few people, but we don't think along those lines. And there's not a positive spin. Positive spin is that the future leaders of Israel were born today. That's a positive spin. Or born on October 7th, or born in this era. And it comes down to kind of very stupid. It's kind of simplistic that if you show strength, the animals won't attack you. It's just the thing that Jewish people are not in a really good place right now. And the rise in anti-Semitism is, it always works with a little pushing. It's like, and then you get away with this and you do more. And if you said any of these things that would happen now, if you said it on October 6th, people say, what are you, crazy? No one's ever going to get away with it. Now all these anti-Semites come out. It's not a rise of anti-Semitism, it's a revelation of anti-Semitism. And the answer, whatever, I always say the same thing. The answer is to go inward and become the best, strongest person you could become. But just to give voice to the fact that this is not a good era for Jewish people, not good for Israel, There's no win here. Even if they win, why they wait so long to go in? Who owns them? Does America own Israel? Is it finally Bibi finally gave a speech? He's finally sticking up, finally coming out as strong. It's a joke by now. Besides, a strong speech is not really doesn't usually follow by action. So it's just the time. It's just, when you're in Gullus, you're in Gullus, and this is not the win of 67, and even 73. 73 was bad, but 73 and broke that security myth of invincibility, but it was a military thing. Over here, it's not only a civilian thing, and not only the most horrible things that happen, and not only the response from the world was disgusting. So it turns out people in Israel never even know the response. I thought people in Israel would be totally, terribly bothered. They're like, listen, the world hates us. We're done. We don't, They act in a way because a Jew acts in a positive, in a respectful way, in a high conscious way. That's why they fight their wars the way they do. And also they have people on the top that are like progressive and want to be like part of the members of the intellectuals of the world. So, but also, yeah, that's how they fight wars. But it's not only terrible things that happen, and not only people that were kidnapped and they're held for so long, and it's just, I don't know, I forgot my point. But yeah, so we hope we hear good news always. Always, a Jew is a dreamer. Jew always has hope. That's true. And things aren't actually bad for the average everyday person, not for the average everyday Israeli, not for the average everyday American, but Jews care about each other in that way, since they have their background and stuff like that. Because of where they come from, and that's it. So it bothers, Americans suffer. Americans experience Israel through anxiety. Israelis experience Israel through pain. And yeah, I guess hopefully it's over soon. It looks like it's going to be over soon, but that's it. It's Azai.